Journey to God's House, Chapter 3, entitled A Snowflake's Chance in Hades. And I kind of like the way he entitles this chapter by the word Hades instead of hell, because we know that Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't believe in hell, so the next best thing he could do is Hades. But this chapter talks about Brock Talon's day of glory, I guess you could say, when he received a letter to be invited to become a Bethelite. And so this was at a circuit assembly. And if you've been a witness for any amount of time, you realize that circuit assemblies and district conventions are a pretty big deal. Now that I look back on my time as a witness, I see it more of a fashion show than anything else. Because, I mean, the brothers would go out and buy new suits or shirts or ties, cufflinks. They would all get their haircuts and get faded up, getting ready for the sisters that are going to be there for the weekend. And the sisters are getting new shoes, high heels, new dresses, getting their hair done, and new makeup and all that other stuff. So it's just a big pony show, and that's what they are. So he was at a circuit assembly, and he had told a friend about his application that he put in. And next thing you know, everyone knows that Brock Talon put in an application to become a Bethelite. This lowly Brock Talon. So he's at the assembly with a group of his friends, and this guy that he calls by the name of Joe Schmo comes up to him. Hey, you're Brock, right? Yes. 1 in 10, bro. 1 in 10. How's that? 1 in 10, that's your chances. Chances of what? Of being accepted to Bethel. It's a fact that only 1 out of 10 Bethel applicants is accepted. But of course, the ones usually accepted are long-time, full-time pioneers, or usually ministerial servants, at least, if not elders. So Brother Joe Schmo doesn't even bother to come up and introduce himself, but rather tries to embarrass him in front of his friends and saying that his chances of being accepted are 1 in 10%, because he is not a long-time pioneer, nor is he a ministerial servant or an elder. So, yeah, he basically was telling them that he had a snowflake's chance in Hades of becoming accepted. So that kind of left him in a bad mood. I would have been in a bad mood also, but so he just kind of shrugs it off. The day goes on, and then he runs into a sister that he calls Sister Patty Pesty. Now, Sister Patty Pesty was the kind of sister that I guess you could say is clingy and thinks that there's more to something in a friend to friend relationship than there really is. So she thought that they were a little bit more than friends. But he says that he runs into Patty Pesty, and he sees her at the assembly that same weekend, and she says something like, "Hey Brock, how's that Bethel thing going for you? Ha ha." And then just walks away. So in the back of his mind, he's probably thinking, great, he's got to go through all this circuit assembly with people coming up to him and mocking him and making fun of him for trying to do the right thing, really. But so that was it on that day of the assembly. And when he gets home, he's got a certified letter in the mail. Could you believe it? It was from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. So he opens it up, and yep, in that instance, his life changed for the better or the worst. I don't know. You be the judge of that. So the next day at the circuit assembly was a very different day than the one that he experienced the day before, because he just wasn't some peon anymore. Now he was a somebody. So what happens, he runs into Brother Joe Schmo again. So now Brother Joe Schmo comes at him at a different angle and basically guilts Brock for not telling Patty, because she said that they were close and that she had to hear about it secondhand from other people, calling him lousy and a loser, and that she was in the bathroom crying because of this whole ordeal, and that since they were close, he needed to go comfort her. So now Brock puts this guy into place and tells him, hey, dude, back off. I don't know who you are. You haven't even introduced yourself. And no, Patty's just a friend. We're not anything else. And he tells him that, hey, dude, you basically told me I had no chance of going to Bethel, and now I am in. And you know what? If you're really Patty's friend, why don't you go and console her? So he said his friends all laughed and they walked away from Brother Joe Schmo. And at that moment, he felt like he won the lottery. Not only was he going to Bethel, but he was able to quiet his naysayers. He found a new power to shut up jerks just like Brother Joe Schmo, because he was now on the up and up in the JW food chain. So he says, to cap this chapter off, better yet, there was a snowflake's chance in Hades I would ever have to deal with Patty Pesty or Joe Schmo again. So this ends that chapter. Please listen to the next. Thank you for taking time to listen to my summary of Journey to God's House. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next chapter.